Okay, narrative breakers, Justin Trudeau has just dropped out as being Prime Minister of Canada to the surprise of pretty much the entire world. It appears this comes after speculation of things going on behind the scenes. Even admitted to this, Justin Trudeau admitted to things going on behind the scenes, in addition to Donald Trump trying to purchase Canada. There's a lot of ramifications behind why he dropped out, but you're here to find out why, what made him get to this point, and why is this happening on January 6th, the day that Donald Trump finally gets certified to be the president of the United States. Find out this and more right now.
We're seeing Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau step up to the microphone now. Let's listen in.
Bon matin. Every morning I've woken up as Prime Minister. I've been inspired by the resilience, the generosity, and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong.
Now, I don't know if you guys know, there are rumors of things going on behind the scenes, and you'll see in a second Justin Trudeau addresses that, saying that he can't be an appropriate prime minister with things going on in his home. There are rumors of allegations of gay information coming out on Justin Trudeau, and I don't really like to get into the sexuality of things because to me, for the most part, it don't really too much matter. But there are rumors of that, especially with the separation with his wife, what was it, a year or two ago, that had came up out of nowhere. In addition to this, there's some information that Trump possibly has Justin Trudeau by the balls. And he's going to utilize the information he has on Justin Trudeau to bring Canada to his knees to make it a better ally for the United States, pretty much taking Canada by force. Now, these are the theories. As of right now, we don't have really too much to depend on. But as the day goes on, and I'm thinking already, I might have to make up to 3 videos a day because Justin Trudeau himself could get 5 videos.
Along with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. You all know I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians. I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight...
Mind you, Justin Trudeau was ranked as the only dictator in Europe and also ranked as the most hated president in Europe. This is during the Biden and Trump administrations. There is no president in Europe that has generated as much hate as Justin Trudeau. And it's interesting because Justin Trudeau is similar to Biden. He had the media on his side, but people dislike Trudeau even more than Biden. Justin Trudeau won his election from what seems to be his appearance. He fared so well with women that over 40% of his voters didn't even know his policy. The female voters that wanted to push Trudeau in just simply wanted to sleep with him. And it led to their entire country being ransacked with individuals that forced a change on their culture, that could not compromise on the ways they were, and have shifted Canada. There was once a time when I was growing up where Canada was presumed to one day pass America in terms of immigration. Now, we do see that they started killing it with immigration, but it wasn't natural immigration. They started actually inviting terrorists into their nation, and the real Canadians started moving out. Now America is back on top with immigration. We're doing so good that we're trying to stop immigrants from coming in, and Canada is at an all-time low. Although that Justin Trudeau said he's trying to bring the Liberal Party leader to ensure a transition back to his party, it's already being assumed that the Conservative leader of Canada, the Conservative Party, is about to be taken over with the 97% lead on poly market alone.
Internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election. A new prime minister and leader.
And sorry to cut it off just again, as he said, internal battles. There's something going on that, as you can tell, is going to get exposed very soon. That would have been damning enough to force Trudeau out. So he's getting ahead of the curve.
The leader of the Liberal Party will carry its values and ideals into that next election. I'm excited to see the process unfold in the months ahead. We were elected for the third time in 2021 to strengthen the economy post-pandemic and advance Canada's interests.
In addition to this, Trudeau looks very, very unsatisfied, in my opinion. He doesn't look like a individual that's really happy with this scenario that's going on. To me, it feels as if he's been forced to resign. Because I'm just telling you, he doesn't really look like it's something that he chose to do. It looks like something he tried to prevent, especially some information from coming out that he wasn't able to get a grasp on, and he's made the ultimate decision to go ahead and drop out. But please understand that Justin Trudeau loved the position he was in. He loved the power, and he loved being a tool of the elites. Majority of the problems in America started to stem from Canada over the past 6-7 years. It's really worth looking into. They became the headquarters of the elites. And every plan that they wanted to implement on America, they said, hey, we can do it to Canada first. And they did it so well that almost any problem that you see in America, Canadians seen it first. And if you're a Canadian, I'm sorry for that. But hopefully, through this resignation, you guys will have some common sense come back to your nation and bring Canada back to the glory it once was.
A complicated world, and that is exactly the job that I and we will continue to do for Canadians. Merci beaucoup, mes amis.
Thank you, Prime Minister. We'll now go to questions, starting with Laurence Martin, Radio-Canada.
Bonjour, Monsieur Trudeau. Vous vouliez le faire, ce combat contre Pierre Poilievre. Des batailles internes, il y en a dans votre parti depuis plusieurs mois déjà. Pourquoi est-ce que vous décidez d'abdiquer maintenant? Qu'est-ce qui vous a fait changer de...
Why did you decide to resign now after all the squabbles in the party over the past months? I'm not somebody who recoils easily before such enormous challenges before the party and the country.
It's so crazy how many countries are so bilingual and things like that, and America just stuck on being Americans. We don't care nothing about French, Spanish, or anything. We just speak American the whole time. That always gets me. But they asked a great question. Why would you resign now if you've been pretty much universally hated? That's pretty much what they're saying. You've been riddled in controversy after controversy, including befriending a man who was accused of raping some children at school. That was a teacher. I'm sure you guys heard about that, along with the Fidel Castro stuff, of course. Even President Trump said that he felt like Justin Trudeau was related to Fidel Castro, which is absolutely crazy. I don't think any of these things are enough to make him drop out, because it's been over his head for years. No, it's something that's behind the scenes that's going to damage his career. He cares more about himself, please believe, than the people of Canada. He don't care about Canadians. He never even considered dropping out until a mistake was made on his part that can affect his career. He cares more about dropping out for his career than he could have dropped out 4 years ago to save his country.
Because I'm doing this job in the interests of Canadians in Canada and to defend the democracy which I cherish. but I realize that I cannot be the leader in the next elections.
All right, I want to bring in CNN's Paula Newton in Ottawa. We also have Jeff Zeleny standing by for us in West Palm Beach. Paula, first to you, though. I mean, here you have Justin Trudeau stepping down, resigning as the leader of the Liberal Party in Canada. He has been at the helm there for 11 years. Is this a case of Trudeau jumping before he's pushed?
Absolutely, 100%. And he basically said so in the last few moments there that we heard from him. He said, look, I can't possibly fight what will be an incredibly difficult election campaign for a government that's almost a decade old if I have to continually fight these internal battles. Now, look, there have been a long list of scandals as well as some achievements that he outlined there. But again, so many members of his own government coming to him and saying, we don't believe that you can beat Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre in the next election.
And more important, it shows that the world is turning conservative. I've been saying that a shift was coming. If the entire Europe, if all of Europe can reflect to be liberal, there's a cause and effect to everything. You see, although America isn't as bad as Canada or Britain, it's as bad as America ever been. And everything goes off America. Since America is now as a whole rejecting liberals and all of the ideologies, the rest of the world will follow suit. They didn't start putting up the LGBT flags or anything until America did it first. We lead the way. And they see that the country is conservative, which is going to make culture conservative, which is going to force the world to be conservative. And these liberals, they're going to have to go. We have to start looking for individuals that's going to try to infiltrate our movement, infiltrate our values, and try to shift it back to conservative. Because that's what happens when you have dominance. You lean into the other party's acceptance and find a way to differentiate yourself while you're in it. That way you can pull people back out and bring them back to the goalposts of being liberal. These are the things we have to prepare to see. They are prepared to play the long game, and it's not random that these liberals are all throwing up the white flag. They don't truly ever quit. They just change to the way they're going to transition their plans.
Election that has to be held by the end of the year. And Pam, as I've been saying all morning, stop me when this sounds familiar. This really leaves his party in a tough squeeze. The polls already indicate that they are more than 20 percentage points behind, and now they're going to have the succession battle, and it will be rough with a lot of different people putting their hat in the ring. In the meantime, you have President-elect Trump coming into office, I don't have to remind you, in 2 weeks, threatening 25% tariffs on all Canadian goods imported into the United States. It is a tall order by any stretch. He will stay to be a so-called caretaker prime minister, but also Parliament will not be sitting, and that'll be interesting because it means that no government business can basically get done. It's really just governing on an emergency basis, if you will. Again, a lot of moving parts here.
Are they really that intimidated by Trump taking over Canada? Because now I'm starting to think we're really about to have Greenland.
We'll add to all of this. Canada just assumed the G7 presidency at the beginning of 2025. G7 meeting supposed to happen in Alberta, Canada in June. A lot on the plate here. And the Prime Minister really putting a personal touch on this, saying that, look, I had a discussion with my 3 children at dinner last night, and that's when I made the decision, something we all know he did not want to do.
Jeff, to bring you in on this, it wasn't that long ago. It was November 29th, where Trudeau met with Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago. We have seen Trump belittle Trudeau, right? I mean, he posted on Truth Social that he was the governor of the great state of Canada. You know, they've had a tumultuous relationship over the years, and now you have Trudeau resigning as the leader of the Liberal.
I really do feel like retribution is coming, and it has a lot to do with Trump. And for Trump to say that, he has so much damning information on Canada, possibly that Canada was used as a proxy for other elitists like Klaus Schwab. I feel like Trump has stuff that's so damning that will force him to drop out. And there is a good chance that Canada could be joining the United States. It sounds crazy and sounds like a fairy tale. But imagine it's so bad that Trump has proof that with Justin Trudeau at the helm, that Canada would actually cease to exist in the next 20 years. They are so afraid of what's coming, and it finally feels real to us. It's like what we've been waiting on, retribution, seeing the mass resignations and all those things. We've been talking about it for years, and now we finally see it. It just doesn't feel real, but I don't think it's random that these resignations are happening.
Canada.
Certainly an extraordinary move, and one that was likely not on the mindset of the Prime Minister as he traveled down just in the weeks after the election. As you were saying, Pamela, that was a chance for Justin Trudeau to perhaps look for a lifeline from Donald Trump for his own leadership in Canada. That, of course, did not happen shortly after that dinner in Mar-a-Lago. And it was not a bilateral meeting. It was not a long conversation. Justin Trudeau was seated at a dinner table with about 10 other people or so. So perhaps that was also a sign of just the level of the meeting was rushed in some respects, but was also certainly not a long conversation about things to come. But since then, Donald Trump has been belittling and mocking the Prime Minister, of course, the beleaguered Prime Minister, as well as suggesting that Canada should be the 51st state of the United States. Of course, not going to happen regardless of who the Prime Minister is. However, this does certainly...
Of course, you would see that. The CNN, if it was Joe Biden, they would be making preparations for our 51st state. They would literally be talking about who's going to design the nuke star. It's just because Trump created that whole story. If it started by Biden, they would prepare for a 51st state. They hate that they have to report how fast this resignation comes after the disrespect from Trump. Instead of standing up for Canada, instead of letting Trump know, like, hey, you're going to be president, you ain't about to run anything here, he drops out. That's submission. Something is coming, and it's coming from America.
Questions for Donald Trump as well. Will he try and involve himself in the elections in Canada? How does he deal with this a caretaker government? Do the tariffs he has proposed actually go through? We shall see. There are more questions at this very moment, as is often the case here, than there are answers. But 2 weeks from now, Donald Trump, after taking the oath of office, 2 weeks and 1 hour from now, this will be his challenge and his problem as well. But for now, no question, this is a very major development that certainly was not foreseen when Justin Trudeau came down here to Palm Beach just a few weeks ago, Pamela.
Yeah, you mentioned, we'll have to wait and see if Trump meddles in this upcoming election in Canada. You also have to wonder if Elon Musk will be weighing in as well. We've seen him
Elon Musk has had his hand in many different countries.
Weigh in other elections in other countries. So a lot to keep our eye on here with this breaking news of Justin Trudeau resigning as the leader of the Liberal Party in Canada. Thank you both, Paula Newton, Jeff Zelny.
Meeting after meeting, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau rubbed shoulders with the movers and shakers in Davos.
And this are the people. This is what Canada was used for, as test subjects, guinea pigs. Even Clone-Aid, the cloning lab facility, is in Canada, Montreal. Look it up, CLONAID. It's a real facility where they clone human beings. I'm not here to give you a conspiracy. I'm only here to give truth. Canada has a lot of weird stuff going on, and they're using that land as a testing facility.
From Facebook to Microsoft executives, billionaire George Soros, and the CEO of Shell.
I'm sure there would have been opportunities or occasions for us to meet there, and I certainly hope so.
Hoping to lure wealthy investors.
To represent also a new, open Canadian constituency, which always has been a very loyal and very much engaged constituency here at the Forum.
Thank you, Professor Schwab, for your warm welcome. We are gathered here to contemplate whether we are in the stages of the fourth industrial revolution about to begin.
There has never been a better time to look to Canada.
Trudeau will continue with his flurry of meetings with the world's richest and most influential, including the CEO of General Motors and the president of Switzerland. But we've also learned he's hobnobbing with Hollywood stars, having dinner with Kevin Spacey and Leonardo DiCaprio, as well as rock star Bono.
All of this right here, all of this is happening as Kamala Harris enters the Capitol and prepares to certify the election. Color me surprised, but it is just so strange to see all these things taking place at once and us to believe it's not connected. Why does he announce his resignation? It makes me feel like they were hoping there was a chance that Trump wouldn't get certified, and he got confirmation that this is going to happen. This is definitely the 47th president of the United States, and Justin Trudeau said it's time for me to go. He could have been working against Trump. If Justin Trudeau is being used by Davos and all of these other New World, One World government elites, There's a great chance that he was doing whatever he could to prevent Trump from becoming president again, and Trump was coming with retribution. And he doesn't have the military. He doesn't have the balls. It really, in my opinion, got that serious. And I wouldn't be surprised if Trump takes it all the way and seriously considers making Canada a state. It's that weak. It's in need of American policy. Nothing is random. Trudeau got the memo. And what a historic day. It's weird to be watching this with all of you because just 4 years ago, I was outside the Capitol in January 6th. I didn't go inside or do anything violent. That's why I don't have any criminal record with the event. But it's just so weird to watch this 4 years later. It's amazing. We did it. We were patient. We fought hard for this country, and we won it. So hats off to the viewer. If you're conservative, if you're a liberal, it might not work the way you want it to, but you got 4 years to prepare.
Other countries are prosecuting citizens who went abroad to fight for ISIS. Trudeau believes some returning.
And you wouldn't believe this. Like I said, it needs American policy. Justin Trudeau actually invited ISIS into his country. Canada has so many problems, and any Canadian would agree with me. This 20-30-minute video doesn't do it justice. He needs at least 6 hours of data.
Home to Canada can still be rehabilitated.
There's a range of experiences when people come home, and we know that actually someone who has engaged and turned away from that hateful ideology can be an extraordinarily powerful voice for preventing radicalization in future generations and younger.
I was a younger Trudeau. We are in the great renaissance, and it's not just America, but yet it does show the amount of influence Americans have. When we say it's enough, when we had enough, when we're tired, the world is tired. We have to constantly be loud. We have to constantly be vocal because the entire world is dependent on the American voice. We have to be American, and we have to sound off. Please like, comment if you can, and subscribe. My videos are doing like 200 likes average, which is helping them grow. So if we can get this one 200, that would be super awesome, if possible. I know a lot of you are busy. And if you can, click the notification bell to stay updated on my next post. Appreciate your support. Until we break the next narrative.